Alright, so somebody in the comment section last week asked me about if I could do a video talking about uh, Beast Gohan from the Dragon Ball superhero film. They wanted me to talk about the Beast Gohan transformation with the white hair. And the person's name, they deleted their comment. I don't know why, so I can't shout out the person who asked. But I thought about it, and I figured that this would be a great video to make because the thing with Beast Gohan is that this transformation, there really isn't much to say about the transformation at all. The transformation basically came out of nowhere. There was really no build-up. There was no explanation. So I can't really give you an explanation on something that isn't really explained in the official material. I'm not geekdom. I can't just make a video and theorize for 20 minutes and state that as fact, like I'm providing you guys with something that you don't already know. But nevertheless, I'm still gonna cover this. So basically Gohan transforms in the film. I want to start off with something that I found really interesting, that once again a lot of the fan base of Dragon Ball Super, they don't really look deep into things. They are very surface level type deal, where certain things are said in the anime, and these super fans, I don't know what it is, but they just don't pay attention, or they just don't really give too much thought into it. They are just here for the flashy transformations and the entertainment, just like the same reason why people watch WWE. They're there for the entertainment. They're not there for an actual physical display of who's physically stronger or not, and they're not taking it seriously. You go to a WWE event to have a good time, to drink, go with your family, watch something entertaining. It looks real, feels real. To some degree it is, but 80% of it is fake, staged, and it's all for entertainment. People go to UFC for entertainment as well, but the difference is that in UFC the fighting is actually real. Whether or not they staged some shit, I'm not here to make a video about that, but basically I'm giving you guys just a quick example, a rundown of basically a comparison of the fan base in the Dragon Ball Super fan base versus the original Dragon Ball Z fan base. Okay, so the people who tend to be really big fans of Dragon Ball Super, I just noticed that they don't really give a fuck about the details or what makes sense. They just care about what's happening in the moment. Or, we got a new transformation with new colors. That's sufficient. That's good enough. There's no need for anything to make sense. There's no need for the story to have emotional weight to it. We just need flashy colors and cool graphics and the characters that we used to have from Z. That's all we need. Basically, that's what super fans seem to constantly keep showing, everyone. And, that's what I'm seeing from this quote-unquote anime fan base, even though it's not really an anime anymore. It's more like a cartoon. That's what Dragon Ball Super really is to me. But back to what I was saying about what I thought was interesting is that there is something in the anime that is said by Gohan while he's fighting Goku, and he gets taken out by Kaioken times 20 Goku with that punch. When Gohan was fighting Goku in DBS, he says that he wants to unlock a new form in his own way. And he said he wants to do it his own way, and he wants to get to a form that is beyond the ultimate form, and he knows that that he can do it, and that there's a level to go beyond after feeling the strength of Blue Goku. So I really like that, because I thought that was really interesting, because it was foreshadowing, and you don't see foreshadowing that much in Dragon Ball Super. I mean, you see it a little bit, but I thought that was cool because you're actually seeing like foreshadowing from Gohan. Like he's foreshadowing, blatantly telling the audience that he's trying to attain a new form. And I remember back when the Tournament of Power started and when Gohan got eliminated, everyone was mad because they said they thought they were going to give him that form in the Tournament of Power, which would have been really nice to give Gohan that form then, because it would have made sense. Gohan was actually in the midst of battle. He was training prior with Piccolo and Goku. He got his ultimate form back. He had motivation to save the universe because his family and the lives of the people he loved were at stake. He was in the Tournament of Power. He was fighting Dispo, fighting with Piccolo. He was actively fighting. So he wasn't sitting around, inactive, not training before he would have achieved that transformation. So it would have made a lot of sense for Gohan to get the Beast form in the Tournament of Power while he was in the midst of battle fighting, rather than getting it later on in a movie. And I'm gonna explain further and get into more detail with that. So that's one thing that we got out the way, is the foreshadowing there. I really like the foreshadowing, but it was really pointless because I'm pretty sure they completely forgot about what Gohan said. The writers, Toriyama, whoever, they forgot about what Gohan said in the anime. So it doesn't even match up correctly. People try and say, oh, well, the foreshadowing thing works well with superhero. It actually doesn't, because it's long overdue. A foreshadowing like that should have came a lot sooner in the series, or even in the manga for that matter. But in a movie, it just didn't make sense. Alright, so Gohan gets this new form after seeing Piccolo get beat up. He sees Piccolo get beat up, and he takes an L from Cell Max, and it enrages him, and he transforms, and they try to recreate the Super Saiyan 2 scene, and it just falls flat. It really doesn't move you in any way. When I watch Gohan turn Super Saiyan 2, we can all agree that you definitely feel some type of emotions for Gohan, because he's watching everybody die, and Android 16 gets his head crushed. It's pretty emotional. It's pretty moving, with the whole birds flying by and the red effects in the back, the red line. Like, everything was just perfect. It's very emotional. Back in Z, Super Saiyan transformations were a lot more, they came from a need, not a want or desire, but they came from a need to transform because people were dying or they were going to die. Trunks transformed after seeing his mentor, basically his father figure, die, the only person that he had left in his universe, and until he couldn't take it anymore, didn't care anymore. Same thing with Vegeta. Vegeta didn't care anymore about anything, and he transformed into a Super Saiyan. Goku had to watch Krillin die in front of his eyes, his best friend that he grew up with since childhood, beg and cry for his help, and he couldn't save him, and he died in front of Goku's eyes, and he couldn't do anything about it. So these are examples of like how transformations used to be in Dragon Ball. They actually had some type of like emotional weight where you felt really bad, or you felt like really touched by the circumstances. And when the characters transformed, it was something special. But with Gohan Beast, the transformation does not hold any emotional weight to it. It's just a transformation that comes out of nowhere, because Gohan is seeing Piccolo get beat up. Piccolo wasn't even dead. I mean, it would have probably been a little bit more acceptable if Piccolo died or was severely injured to the point where it looked like there was no coming back for him. It would have made a lot more sense, a little bit more sense, because Piccolo was presumed dead, and that would be a perfect catalyst for him to transform. But no, it was not a transformation like that. So that's number one. So the transformation basically comes from rage, but it really just doesn't make any sense as to how that rage could have come about. Pan was not hurt. She was not hurt at all. Pan would have been a much better catalyst, because it usually takes a lot for Gohan to snap like that. That's one. So number two, the beast transformation doesn't require any type of training. Um, Gohan was training in the Tournament of Power, but in the superhero film, he doesn't do any training. He is on a computer doing work, and he fights the Gammas with Piccolo. So him fighting the Gammas is not considered training to me because he wasn't training to attain that form like he said he was in Dragon Ball Super. Dragon Ball Super, Gohan said that he wanted to attain this form his own way, a new form. But he doesn't train for the form. We don't see him actually training for the form to attain it. It just comes out of nowhere. So there's that. The form wasn't trained for. So it wasn't trained for, and the means of getting the form wasn't really emotional or didn't really feel that important. So that's two. Yeah, that's two things right there. It's really like doesn't make any sense. Number three, the explanation for what the form actually is when it comes to transformations, we don't know what the form is either. When I first saw it, I thought that he would have a tail because it looked almost like a primal type of state. You know, the whole thing with Beast and the way his eyes look, and some people even drew him with fangs in his teeth, which I thought would have been really cool. I don't think it was canon. I think that was just fan art. But yeah, the whole thing with like the fangs in his teeth, I really like that concept. So I assumed when I saw leaks that he would have a tail and with the fangs, and I said, all right, you know, tail and fangs from some of the art I was seeing. I said, this transformation actually looks really good. In terms of looks, the transformation, people don't like it. Like, a lot of people hate the way it looks because of the hair, and I get a lot of hate for saying that I like it, but I really do like the hair, because to me, you can't hate on Beast Gohan's hair if you like Super Saiyan 3. Alright? Super Saiyan 3, I'm not a fan of Super Saiyan 3, but the sole fact that it exists, to me, makes it okay for Gohan to have that hairstyle. Because look at how ridiculous Super Saiyan 3's hair is. It's really ridiculous. No eyebrows and long ass hair. Like, you can't hate on Gohan. The Gohan basically, it's just with Beast Gohan, the Super Saiyan 2 transformation with longer hair. Alright? I'm not gonna be too critical on it because for me, I like the way it looks. I like the red eyes. It symbolizes a form of, the red eyes symbol like an animalistic type of vibe. I like the hair. The hair is ridiculously long, but that's okay because it's Dragon Ball. I'm actually glad that the hair was long because I feel like if the hair was just white, people would be saying it's just another recolor, which it kind of is, but this time around, Beast Gohan, in defense of Beast Gohan, it's not another recolor. They actually did something aesthetically to the character. They gave him red eyes, they gave him longer hair. So, you know, even though it may not be the best transformation, and I really wish they would have did more to make it stand out, you know, added some fangs or a tail or claws or something more unique that stands out. I can't knock the fact that at least Toriyama tried to give him longer hair instead of just saying let's recolor it white, because that would have been fucking absolutely disgraceful. So yeah, there's no way to explain what it is. We don't know what it is. We don't know where it comes from, and I like the way it looks, but we do not know where it comes from. My guess, if I theorize with you guys on what I think it is, I think that it just comes from the transformation tree of Super Saiyan 1, Super Saiyan 2, and Super Saiyan 3. And I think that because Gohan was already had his potential unlocked and he didn't need Super Saiyan 3, I feel as though this would be equivalent. This would be Gohan's Super Saiyan 3. Now, obviously, it wouldn't be as weak as Super Saiyan 3 was because of where he is in the story and where his power is, and where Ultimate Gohan in the Ultimate form already was at, being able to fight in the Tournament of Power and go up against Blue Goku. I would say that this equivalent of Super Saiyan 3 to Gohan would be way, way stronger than Super Saiyan 3 in, let's say, the Buu Saga. So I'm theorizing here that this form in the transformation tree comes from the Saiyan transformation tree. Obviously Gohan is a hybrid, so we could also factor in the fact that he is part human and Gohan is not. Goku is not a hybrid. So that would explain why it looks different. It would explain why it's white hair, why it's longer, like Super Saiyan 3, but not. And ultimately, it is a unique form for Gohan. I don't see anybody else getting a form like that. I think it's pretty unique to him. And the hair is white. It's almost like Ultra Instinct, but I don't think it's the same. Ultra Instinct has more of a glow to the hair, and it's more flowy. It's more soft. But with Gohan, the hair is more spiked and like hardened, like Super Saiyan 3 or Super Saiyan 4. So I'm just guessing that this is a form that is on the original transformation tree. Then again, I theorize that, but there's no tail. So it gets me upset, the fact that there is no tail, but this is supposed to be a primal transformation. So there's that. But yeah, there's really not much to say else about the form. There's not much to say because the form comes out of nowhere. We don't know how strong it is. We don't even know if it has any special abilities. We just see Gohan kick Cell. It's not really Cell, but kick a fucking bug monster and special beam cannon his ass using Piccolo's attack, which would probably be amplified in strength. That's it. We don't see actually where the form comes from or anything like that, or what the form is, and we don't really get a good reason for why he attains the form. I mean, same thing goes for Piccolo. I mean, at least we know he wished for it. I mean, he deserved it, but it was off of a wish, so he didn't train for that form either. And I like the way Orange Piccolo looks. Once again, I actually don't hate the way in the superhero film how Piccolo and Gohan look aesthetically for their transformations. I just don't like the motivation. I don't like how there's no build-up. I don't like how it doesn't make any sense at all. I don't like how it's very much built in a cartoon type of vibe. There's not really an anime. It doesn't feel like an anime. It feels like a cartoon. We don't get any explanation. And once again, super fans don't really care about explanations either, so there's that. But yeah, I like the way these forms look, and I feel like it's really a waste, because if Piccolo was training for this form, it would have been such way more cathartic to see if Gohan was training for this form. And let's say there's an arc where Gohan is trying to train because Pan is kidnapped, and he's trying to train, and no matter what he does, he can't seem to master this new form, but he can feel that there's something inside of him, or it was foreshadowed some more, or maybe Piccolo died and Pan was kidnapped for a double whammy. Okay, so Piccolo's dead now, Pan is kidnapped, she might die, gives Gohan motivation to master the form. And let's say Gohan goes out, fights the Gammas, barely wins, fights Cell Max, is getting destroyed, getting beat. Meanwhile, Pan is like in some type of incubator or something, and Pan's life's at stake. That would be such a way much better way to bring this form about, because there's actually stakes here and things are looking pretty hopeless. I mean, that's what it's all about when it comes to transformations in Dragon Ball. That's why we love the franchise. That's why we love the Super Saiyan forms. It's iconic for that reason. And there was none of that. It wasn't like any of the forms. It wasn't attained that way. So to me, it's a waste because of that. It's a real waste that Gohan did not actually work toward this form. As far as I'm concerned, he did not work toward it. And we know nothing about it. It just looks good in my opinion, that's it. I mean, it looks alright, but I really hope to God that in the future, or even in the manga, that they actually delve deep and explain what the form is, and maybe show us more about it after the retelling's done. Maybe go deeper into what's going on with Gohan and Piccolo, and they talk more about their forms. I highly doubt it. But as far as Beast Gohan's concerned, to sum it all up, I really do like the way it looks. I do like the way it looks. I think it looks fucking badass. It looks like a transformation you'd see in GT for Gohan, to be honest with you. I mean, they did rip off Baby. He did it first. Baby Vegeta did it first. But I like the white hair. I like the spiky hair. I like the aggressive, dark look, the aggressiveness. I like the purple and blue electricity, or the purple and red electricity mixed. I think it's really cool looking. But that's not going to win me over because it just doesn't make sense. You know, I like the form, but it just doesn't make any sense. So that's to sum it all up. I like the way it looks, but the form is pretty much, it's really hollow. It's pretty much garbage because we don't know anything about it, and I'm just going to leave it at that.